Hello and welcome to SML The Point After, where 4 SML members compete in a 4-round, free-for-all battle royale regarding the hottest topics in the SML. Each round will be scored on its own, with the lowest scoring player will be eliminated. Let's go ahead and get right into this. Here's our contestants: Fins, Bomber, Matt, and Faz. What's going on, fellas?
What up, what up?
It's good, buddy.
I love this crew.
It's elite, guys. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with the drop. And this will be a battle for a power-up, fellas. And we'll get into the power-ups in a second here. But here's a question right now. Create your SML character. Picking one SML member for each. Stick skills, play calling, and mental toughness. Faz, we'll start with you.
All right, well, we'll start with the easy one, stick skills. That's going to be me. If you need any evidence, you can go ask Biz where his ankles are. Play calling, this is a good one. Couple good guys for this. I'm going with QP. I feel like QP is a little more balanced than I think some maybe expect. He knows when to dial it back. He knows when to be aggressive. He can hit you with any kind of different concept. He throws all sorts of different routes. QP is my guy for play calling. Mental toughness, maybe a little bit of a dark horse. There's a couple options. I went with my Myrtle roommate, D Muse. This is a guy that I feel I never really see complain about much, gameplay wise in chat. I feel like he always keeps games close, no matter what. Even games where you feel like you've got him, he always seems to make it close. Just never feels like that guy is out of a game. So I'm going with me, Q, and D Muse. It's an elite squad.
All right. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, so stick skills, I assume we talk in present day, because overall I would take Graham's in his heyday. But I went with Prime. I didn't think about it offensively, so that's a good one by Faz. But defensively, maybe it's because I played you so much, but I mean, you almost can't have two routes in the same area. There's not a whole lot of guys where I feel that strongly about that concept. For play calling, I actually went with Faz. Not necessarily because I think he calls the best plays, although he does, which is, I'm curious how he figured that out. But when Faz, I think when a lot of guys call plays, they're like, okay, this guy is going to be open on this route. And then no matter what the defense does, no matter what, a lot of guys just call the play and they just throw to that guy. And if he's not there, they panic. Faz calls a play, but he's got multiple different options. Hey, if it's man, I've got this route. If it's cover 3, I've got this. If it's cover 2, I'll check to this. That's where I think Faz is elite. And when you're playing against him, that gets really frustrating. Mental toughness, I think Dom's a good one. I actually, and this is taboo on the show, I went with me, but a lot for the same reasons. I don't complain about anybody. I actually don't think I ever have. I have said in chat, if I ever say that EA beat me, I'll retire that night. I don't get too high. I don't get too high on frustration. And if I lose, I lose, and that's what it is.
Bomber, what are you thinking?
All right. So I got stick skills. I'm gonna try and everybody went with Faz or the obvious answers, but I'm gonna go with Bean. I actually think Bean is underrated stick skills.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to talk about gameplay and somebody that can close in the clutch, we're not talking Bean. But if you're just talking his running and his stick skills, he's actually not bad. And he's probably at the top third of the league, I think. So I think his stick skills. Play calling, I'm going to go with Dan, but for a little bit of a different reason. Number one, Dan will send me DMs and he'll be like, you should try this play, hot route this, do this, and the play gets open. I don't think anybody knows the playbooks better than Dan. He definitely knows them, and on top of that, he'll stick with what works. A lot of guys, you get stopped 2 runs, next thing you know, they're passing, doing something, maybe not exactly what they would normally do. You get out of your game plan. Dan will run it 90% of the time, and he has no problem doing that. So I think Dan with the play calling. And then mental toughness, I think guys are kind of overlooking a few people, and I went with 2-step. Anybody that can come in here and win 20% of their games on a good season and stick it out since the beginning of the SML has to have some type of mental toughness. So I'm going to go with 2-step there.
That's good. That's really good.
Fins, what do you think?
Yeah, all my answers have been taken, so we're going to try to wing it. For stick skills, I originally went with Bean because I was going to take Faz for play calling. Bean, I'm going to stick with Bean, though. Bomber's right. If you watch Bean streams, he is really sticky with it. Like, that he has the stop and go almost as good as Faz. Not quite, but he's right there. For play calling, I'm going with Faz as well. For every reason that Matt said, like he knows, and it's not just on offense too. He knows defense too, right? Like he knows, okay, this hook isn't going to work here. I need to put this into this, and this is I'm gonna hard flat this, but I'm gonna Mabel this, and like he's on defense. A lot of times he's playing chess while we're playing checkers, right? And mental toughness. I originally had Dom, but that was taken. Then I went with Matt. Matt took himself. I'm gonna go with the GOAT. Prime throws himself out there. He throws a lot of heat on himself, saying he's going undefeated. He doesn't waver. He sticks with it. If he loses, he's like what Matt said. He never blames EA. He always gives the opponent credit. He says, everyone has a good game every now and then. If he loses to players he feels he shouldn't have, he doesn't ever blame the game. He sticks with it. I went with Prime there.
Thanks, Fins. And now here's the scoring totals. Faz, 55. Fins, 57. Matt, 479,431. and Bomber, 479,432. Bomber wins the round. The two-step one caught me off guard. I like that.
Man, I was so close. I really was right there.
Same.
Yeah.
So here's the power-ups, and you guys are probably reading them, but for the fans at home, Bomber, you can pick from a self-revive. So if you have the lowest score at the end of a round, you can continue playing. A precision airstrike, it drops a bomb on a member, pretty much reduces their score by half. A revive pistol donates some of your points to somebody else. Maybe you don't like somebody, you want someone else to win. A gas mask skips somebody, you don't want to hear their BS. Or a deployable decoy. Other opponents' power-ups can't phase you. It's like a protection shield.
The Figg special.
The Figg special. What are you thinking there, Bomber?
I'm going to self-revive. I like our last two topics, and I want to be around for it. So I'm going to use that self-revive.
All right. Now, keep in mind, guys, there's going to be a random power-up round within the next few rounds, so stay tuned for that. So let's move on to the first circle closing here. SML Pro Bowl announcement time, fellas. SML is doing a Pro Bowl, a little skills challenge. Something's going to be happening soon. Stay tuned for that. And what better way for me to come up with ideas than ask the guys on the point after, create your SML Pro Bowl All-Star Weekend events. How often should this happen? Maybe how does it happen? How are guys selected? Matt, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I would love it to be halfway through our cycle, which kind of lines up with the end of the NFL season, kind of where we're at now, because football's kind of over. Paulie's been really depressed. I think everybody else just, what do I do with my Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays? I think it'd be a nice little breakup for our league because, Madden kind of drops off that interest level too for some. So once a year, halfway through the cycle, March 1st, 6 months from when we started, something like that. As far as events, gosh, I only play franchise, so I don't really know if Madden has like a skills competition that we could do. That would be fun. So if there's something like that, someone else will mention it. But I was thinking SML Warzone's kind of taken off. And so that's become a big hit for a lot of guys, and I've had a lot of fun playing with all of you. I think everyone in here plays. So maybe we venture outside of Madden and we do something different. Mario Party would be fun. Mario Kart, things like that. I know that requires everyone to have a Switch or something like that, but we could find alternatives on the PlayStation. I think there's like a PlayStation racing game too. And then I think it should just be open to everybody. I think everybody would like to have fun, and if everybody wants to do it, they can do it. Nice.
That's good. Fans, what do you think there?
I went in a little bit of a different route here. I came up with SML debauchery. With I just kind of
okay.
So, yeah, it would be. I guess we'd have to do this at a meetup. And I picked guys that I thought would be the best at each category, and some of them are self-explanatory. So one is the Kama Sutra challenge. That Colt would be the one participating in here, and he would be, identifying different positions, kind of macking on, any kind of chick that, he would feel would say yes.
Might not even have to be a chick.
Chicks,
yes.
Okay, anything with a pulse.
That might be a little too much too.
Dirtiest pickup lines. like Paulie would walk up to a girl and just say, "Hey, you like dragons? These balls gonna be dragging across your face later," right? Like just dropping anything you can, and then just having an old fashioned drinking contest. We have our SML version of Barney Gumble and Figg. No one can drink that guy under the table. I guarantee it. So just getting out and having some fun with the boys.
That's good. That's good. Bomber, how are you gonna
All
back?
right, so I don't have anything quite that extreme, but I was thinking, so I like the Warzone idea. The issue I see is not everybody has it.
Yeah.
So that could be a problem. Everybody does have Madden. Obviously, we're playing. You brought up even in the topics the three versus three knockout mode, and I was thinking we could do the 1 seed, the 7 seed, and the absolute bottom of the division of the conference. All three of those guys play against each other. And you just do it every offseason while we're all sitting there waiting for that 24-hour first free agent period. That's when those guys could play, and maybe it would fill some of that time. Definitely get chat talking about watching KJ go out there with Faz and whoever the 7 seed is, taking on maybe you and Two Step and whoever else you got as the 7 seed in the AFC. Just something to keep it going for the guys that maybe didn't have as long of a season.
Yeah. Faz, what do you think there?
Yeah, so like the other guys, I didn't go quite as far out there as Fins did. But I had two ideas. One, first off, I think you can pull this off twice a season. I would say once halfway through your cycle, so like right after season 4, and then you could do once in like that weird waiting kind of preseason, postseason period in between games. So I think mid-season, that's when you do your full on your Madden Pro Bowl, basically SML Pro Bowl. You have a 3-on-3. You get 2 team captains. They draft their 3, and you live stream the game, and that would just be a blast, full chaos. I think you could do a gauntlet challenge mode. We've seen you stream that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Basically, you just line up SML members, see how far they go in the gauntlet. I think you could do a couple Madden themed things like that, and then for the kind of waiting period where people are maybe taking a break from Madden, I think you just venture out. Like Matt said, you go in all different games. I would want to see some SML versus SML Call of Duty. I want to see Prime versus QB in Pokemon. I want to see some Smash Brothers. I think you can make like a week of that. Anybody can sign up for whatever game they want to play, and SML battles it out and see where some of our hidden talents might be.
Yeah. No, that's good. The answer is going to be somewhere between Bomber, Matt, and Faz. Probably not the Finns one.
You don't want to just all go out and get the same girl pregnant.
Our own version of Maury Povich, right? He's the father.
So here's the scoring. We lost somebody.
Nope.
Oh,
We lost Fins. You didn't like his idea, and he
he's
said, "I'm
back.
out of here."
some type of customs issue.
Yeah.
So the scoring is as follows: Bomber 900, Faz 925, Matt 888, and Fins 432,542,113.4. So Matt is
0.4
out.
Uh-oh.
Now, Matt, you'll be in the gulag, so stay tuned for that. You can still answer questions. We're just not going to score you.
Okay.
Moving on to the second circle closing. What's your thoughts on declining penalties? I've seen it happen in games where maybe a roughing the kicker happens and a guy declines it. Maybe there's a roughing the quarterback or a pass interference or intentional grounding. Fins, we'll start with you.
It's obviously a personal choice. I accept most of those penalties unless it's like an absolute ridiculous kind of EA animation. And I'm gonna kind of like go the Matt route, but I don't like to usually talk about myself. But like I had an incident. I think I was playing Clink, and I don't know if it was a kickoff kind of issue, and it glitched and it gave him a safety, and I got 2 points. It was just a really stupid kind of animation kind of play. And so what I did was when I can't remember how I solved it, but I chose to I took the kickoff and then I ran back in the end zone and gave myself a safety and gave him the ball back. Just so I'll try to make right those kind of situations. Most penalties, I haven't seen too many penalties that I feel you would automatically decline in Madden, but there are those really stupid kind of animations where just things just trigger weird things where like guys don't pick up the ball and the guys kick it 25 yards, like the one that Coop showed. Guys kick it 25 yards and it goes out of bounds and they give it a safety or something. So I'll rectify those ones, but most penalties I'll accept.
Okay, that's good. Matt, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so first thing I do is I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. So if you haven't accepted a penalty that I would decline, I will decline it. But if you accepted a weird one, I will accept it. What is a weird one? So I'm thinking you're along the sidelines and you go out of bounds, and then your AI happens to tap the guy, and sometimes they throw a flag and sometimes they don't for unnecessary roughness. I'm not going to accept that penalty, assuming it's close. If you take your user and just slam into my guy when he's 6 feet out of bounds, that's different. But a lot of times the AI will just trigger it, and it's out of your control, and it'll throw a flag. I'm not going to accept that. The last Madden or two Maddens ago, the AI loved to run into the kicker on field goals. I wouldn't accept those. I will accept them if you tried to block the kick and ran into my kicker. So really, I look at it as, is it a realistic penalty? And was it in or out of your control? Holding is a part of the game. Intentional grounding is a part of the game, and you press the R3 button. So that's how I look at it.
Okay, Bomber, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so I would say there's one penalty that I wouldn't accept, and that's the delay game penalty where nobody can pick a play and you get stuck in that play call screen. Outside of that, because that's an EA issue where they have some stuff going on. But outside of that, the penalties are fairly random. It's not like there's one thing you can do to cause a penalty against the other side of the ball. And it's just realistic. There's bad calls all the time, and you don't know when, the calls generally even out, but not necessarily over the course of one game. And it's just part of the NFL. Just ask Dom if the officials make bad calls. He's a Saints fan. He'll tell you it happens all the time. So I don't see any problem with accepting calls, and other than something like EA with the delay game, I just accept them all.
All right, Faz, how are you going to answer that one?
Yeah, you can tell when they're EA issues. The delay a game thing, I'm sitting there, I'm smashing the X button, nothing's happening. I know my opponent's going to get a delay a game. I'm just going to decline the penalty. You can tell when they're very obvious glitches, like Finn says with the safety thing. Sometimes you just never know what this game's going to do. So if you can rectify something that's clearly broken, I say you go for it. Penalties is really not one of those things. It's just a slippery slope where, sure, maybe your AI did something stupid, but like his AI could do something stupid too later on in the game. You just have no idea. And at some point you start kind of just walking on eggshells playing the games. Cause like, oh, do I decline this? Do I accept this? Do I not? Like you don't know, and you never know what's coming next. So I'm accepting the penalties. Some of them are weird, some of them are broken. That's just kind of the way the game goes. You just really never know. I mean, I'm playing last night against Biz, and I run that orbit bubble screen that I've been running for 3 Maddens. I've thrown it hundreds of times. I've never had an issue. Rodgers turned around, just threw it out of bounds. Missed the receiver by 1.5 miles. I've never seen it before in a game, in practice, ever. He just threw it. It was a fumble. I lost like 10 yards. Couldn't do anything about it. Yeah. You have no idea when something like that's going to happen. So, I mean, you're going to feel really bad if you decline a penalty, put you in that spot, and then the game does something totally out of your control. And you're like, wow, thanks, game. Like, I was trying to be nice, and now my quarterback just threw the ball out of bounds for no reason. Yeah. So, just accept the penalties. Otherwise, you're going to really get frustrated.
Yeah, I tend to just accept the penalties. I try not to take my moral high grounds in deciding penalties. So the scoring is as follows. Faz 21, Bomber 20, Fins 15. So Fins is eliminated with Faz and Bomber surviving. Now we're going to have to go to the gulag. But before we do, in the final round, Faz actually wins a power-up. I didn't tell you guys that was for a power-up because I forgot to do the round before. So the self-revive's been taken. You can do a precision airstrike, a revive pistol, a gas mask, or a deployable decoy.
We got 1 round left, right?
Yep.
So can I go with a gas mask and can I silence Bomber?
You can, if you want to.
I'm gonna do that.
All right. So now we're gonna set the scores to 0, and we're gonna go one final round here. It's a gulag. It is a gulag. So we're gonna match up Faz and Fins, the Thanos duo, against Matt and Bomber. The question of the day is as follows. Drum roll, please. What is behind Figg's and Biz's crazy turnaround? And Faz, are you silencing Bomber or are you silencing Matt?
Let's silence.
So,
Actually, you know what? Let's let's silence Matt because I actually do really want to hear what Bomber has to say about this.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. All right, Bomber. You live to die another day. What you got?
all right. So you want to know both Biz and Fig.
Yeah.
So Fig, I don't think that the schedule, it hasn't been too tough on Fig, but I don't think that's necessarily the reason for Fig's success. I think a lot of it, Fig has always been kind of he's been a really good player until he gets down. When he gets down, he starts snowballing. We get the retirement tweets. But as long as he stays in a game, he's generally fairly good. And right now he's running with Derrick Henry. He's got the number 2 rush offense, and he's just sticking with Derrick Henry so he doesn't get behind by a bunch. The game isn't as long. He can stay in the game, and that's, I think, what's keeping him focused and making him tougher. As far as Biz, though, that's the schedule. He's got a win over QB, which is nice, but QB's got a rookie quarterback, and he's sitting at 4-4. He's not exactly the QB that he thinks he is. So it's the schedule with Biz. He's got that fourth place schedule. It's been an easy schedule. We saw he comes out, he plays fast, he gets a huge lead, and what does he do? He blows the entire thing. It's just the schedule with Biz. Come on, this is a guy that won like 2 games over the entire cycle. He's not going to end up. He probably won't even make the playoffs. In fact, he won't make the playoffs.
Oh no!
Go ahead and mark it down now. Biz is done.
Biz. All right, Fins. We'll let you go, then we'll let Faz go because I want the anticipation to build of what Faz has to say.
Yeah. So for Fig, I'm gonna kind of start off echoing a little bit of what Bomber said because he's partially correct. Fig is a better player than what he does. He does tend to get down on himself in games, but both Biz and Fig actually are playing really good defense. With Fig's defense is not as good as Biz's right now, but the difference between those two is Fig actually has a sneaky good user. Fig, when he's engaged in the game, he is really good at actually covering multiple routes. Like he will bait you, and with a lower tier schedule, like guys like me who are the way that Matt explained it before, I'm usually a one read guy. Like this is the route I'm throwing, and if it's too bad, I'm throwing it anyway. Like Figs takes advantage of that kind of stuff. So the user with Biz, it is the schedule. He is still playing pretty good defense. The difference though is Biz is kind of a guy who is a win at all cost guy. He will kind of do anything to win. He will flirt with rules, and so I think he does kind of bend the rules a little bit to suit trying to get a win. Like he will call plays. You know, he's the kind of guy that's calling play action with 20 seconds left in the first half. Like he's those kind of guys that you just scummy kind of plays that kind of tick guys off and rub them the wrong way. And he plays that mental game. He's got that crazy hair. Let's take it over, buddy.
All right, Faz, you're up.
Yeah, so I think everybody's expecting an avalanche here. I will mostly stay away from that. Yeah, Biz is there's a lot of opinions you can have on Biz. End of the day, when you tell the guy he's playing good, he says he's lucky. When you tell him he's playing bad, he says that you just run your mouth. The guy is more hot and cold than Katy Perry, so I'm gonna mostly leave that alone. Figs is an interesting case because he, like Bomber highlighted, the schedule hasn't been murderer's row, but there's some good wins on here. He beat Fins. He just beat Beans. He's got a win. He shut out DW. He beat Clink. So this is he beat Field, who's had his good runs with the Ravens. So the schedule hasn't been deadly, but it also hasn't been like purely bad. The big thing with Figs is kind of like we said, he has avoided his SML superpower of shooting himself in the foot in the most comical ways ever. He's mostly done pretty well with team building. He's found his OP guy in Derrick Henry, and he's running him till the wheels fall off. And the biggest thing is right now he only has 4 interceptions with Ryan Tannehill. We've finally stopped with the multiple quarterback offenses. He's mostly given up on Malik Willis, which is just a smart thing for anyone to do. So really, Figgs is just being smart and hasn't gone full Figgs yet. So that's a good thing. Hopefully he keeps it up. He's got a couple big games left in the schedule. He's got the NFC South. He has 2 against Dump. But obviously 7-1, he's currently the 1 seed in the AFC. So I don't know. Hopefully we see Figgs in the playoffs. It's happened 1 time, I think, before in my SML tenure. So
two. I think he got in the
2
first
times?
and last season or something like that.
He beat Grams, I know.
Yeah.
So here's the scoring. A Bomber on his own put up 78 points. Matt put up 0. Fins put up 77 points. Faz with a great, strong effort. Unfortunately, he silenced Matt, so he got -2, which means Matt and Bomber win. I respect Matt. Matt and Bomber, the mic is yours.
Oh, I didn't even think we'd get the win. But I'm excited. This is the first time I got to be on this end of one of these shows, and I think it was a good time. Looking forward to what we do in the future.
Matt?
Yeah, sorry, I had to unmute my mic here. I haven't talked in like 10 minutes. But hey, Figg and Biz, I'm rooting for both of you. I had a whole spiel planned. Figg's not throwing picks. He's playing like me in Madden 21, so I'm proud of him. He didn't ask me how to do it. He just did it, and I'm so proud that he stopped throwing interceptions and just run, baby.
There you go. That was Matt, Bomber, Fins, Faz, and I'm Prime. Guys, thanks for watching SML, The Point After.